So what the hell is autonality? As a word I just made up. I described autonality as the virus that I suffer from, which is automobilistic personality. I think I just made up automobilistic as well, but you get the point. Automobile personality, autonality. And if you're dyslexic like me and you read autonality, that's cool. If you clicked, you'll end up loving cars, or you clicked because you love cars, whatever. The reason for the channel is essentially coming to the realization that the one thing that has been the most constant in my life, other than my family, is my absolutely unapologetic and unwavering passion for the automobile. If it has wheels, I am interested in it, and I include a chair. If it has wheels, it becomes more important, more appealing to me. And this passion for the automobile obviously is very much a male thing. And all your buddies, when they get together, and there are women that like cars too, I know, but let's face it, the vast majority of people who will end up watching this is male. But when you grow up, when you become kids, usually, especially depending on the country, I was born and raised in Argentina. Topic number one, soccer, obviously. And topic number two is cars, whether it's brands or Formula One, which obviously, if you're a car guy, you're a Formula One guy, or auto racing. But this passion, this intensity started diminishing as life evolves us. We, from high school, we go to university. Now it's not that easy to have a car in university. And then we get out of university, get a job, get back into the car thing. And then we meet somebody, we start dating, the groups kind of dissipate a bit. And suddenly you're married, you have 3 kids. That passion for the automobile dissipated massively. And I completely understand, especially if you have a mortgage and wife and kids. Like I'm a widower, but we couldn't have kids, so it's just me. And I have a 10-pound chihuahua that's usually playing around here. You will hear her eventually in one of the videos if I want to keep doing this. So yeah, the next video or a few later, you will hear her bark, guaranteed. But anyway, so as life evolves, that we are forced to be, most of us, responsible with our money. The car takes, number 100 in the list of priorities. So that level of responsibility then starts making us pay attention to the economy. The economy is linked to the government, and then you start listening to what's happening in our continents. And before you know it, what started happening to me, before I realized that all my podcasts, all the information, the media that I consume, whether at home or while driving, was just bad news. Government news, economy, blah, blah, blah. And it was toxic. And I literally started feeling down on myself. And one day I stumbled upon Chris Harris's podcast, and it was just 4 guys just talking about cars. There is an infinitesimal chance that a little bit of politics might creep in, but they make a concerted effort of brushing that off, pushing that away, in order not to taint the overall feeling of the podcast. The only time they talk about government is when they talk about speed laws and stuff like that, which, yeah, we all hate it when government tries to limit speed limits and BS. But anyway, what I'm getting at is listening to this podcast. All of a sudden, I started listening to other car podcasts. And my top three are Chris Harris, the intercooler, and Matt Farah, the smoking tire. He talks about politics sometimes, which I'm not too crazy about, but whatever. What's good, though, what I found reinvigorating is that my love for the automobile started punching through these layers of seriousness that has been dimming me. And yeah, I'm 53, and when I talk about cars, I literally shrink to the mental age of 8 because I look at cars with that passion. And if I'm out with friends and their wives and, friends of theirs or whatever, and I start talking about cars with my friend, I can do it with Aaron and a couple other guys, but most other serious married men, they pump the brakes. They don't want to get too excited, or they're numb like I was. And then people start looking at me like, look at this guy, 53 years old, still talking about cars like that. Well, yeah, because I love cars. Always have. But like I say, I'm 53. I probably have been suppressing that uncontrolled passion for the automobile for almost 30 years. And my wife, she was the coolest. And I will tell you stories about her. She is probably the one factor, I didn't call my wife a thing. She was probably the one factor that started making me realize that I was suppressing something that I was passionate about. And this started with her. I didn't realize it until recently. But that's what I want to do in this channel. Literally, I will share my opinion about the automobile. And if someone disagrees or someone agrees, fucking great. Just post it. That's honestly, I just like to contribute to this car passion, because if we ever needed something that we can disconnect from this craziness that's surrounding us right now, the cool thing about cars is that, yeah, it'd be cool to own them, but you can talk about them with such a level of passion. You can't even do that with music. But cars, there are so many things that you notice about a car. You might like the wheels of this one car, and, oh, but if they had these wheels in there, or this car should have been a station wagon, which is the best format, station wagon stops. And so anyway, these are the things I want to talk about. And if you like it, if you're like, no, I don't think that the Ford Taurus should have had a station wagon variant, when in fact, I think the Ford Taurus in a station wagon would have been the coolest vehicle. But things like that. And so if you send me that, and we start a community, just people talking shit about cars. I'm able to do that with some of my friends, like I said, but we work. We can only get together like every other weekend at best. So this would be like if one night you just can't sleep, you click on one of these comments, and you're like, well, this guy is full of shit. What is this guy talking about? Well, there's no harm done. And you can actually have a cool interaction with like-minded people at 2 a.m. So I can't call my buddies at 2 a.m. and say, hey, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that the first gen Miata is overrated. But sometimes those are the topics that keep me from sleeping. But yeah, how cool if we could share that. Anyway, that's it. This is the first video. I want to do 2 a week. That's what people recommend that I do. So yeah, the next one drops in 2 weeks.